All right. Live is here all. Hey everyone. I'm Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla. I have Miss TeeCee here. We're gonna check and see if the connection looks good. TeeCee, check on your end on Facebook side. I'll see if LinkedIn is good. So we want to make sure we're checking connected. If you're here on any of the channels, make sure that you give us a heart so we know what channels are live where you're watching us from. And I just, I came out of the conversation with TeeCee. We're late today, and it's my fault, y'all. So please forgive me. It's not TeeCee's fault. It's my fault. I had to grab some coffee. I said today is different, and I was sharing a story with TeeCee about overwhelm, and I also shared it this morning in the room. So shout out to those of you who joined us in the morning cup of inspiration. And I thought about how last night I had like an epiphany that I was feeling a little overwhelmed, right? I didn't know what it was. It just came out of nowhere, y'all. It was just like, what is that? It was very weird because it wasn't like a like, oh, I'm just sleepy, let me lay down. It was like I'm tired, but I'm like tired. Like there's like a deeper tired there, right? It's something, a deeply rooted tiredness. And that was after
Allegra. So, is it the part where you say my tired is tired?
Yes, your tired is like, and I think, and I'll explain this, y'all, in a little bit. But y'all know what I mean, right? And as we go through life, and y'all know me on a normal basis, I like to keep my life light. If y'all don't know me well enough, like, not to say that I'm a like soft life girl, I just like to keep life at peace. I just like to get the things that I want. I achieve my success. I'm not worried about y'all problems, right? Y'all keep y'all problems. Um, so I like life like that. I like very seamless process through my journey. And not to say it doesn't come with challenges, because it does, but I enjoy the challenges. I even enjoy the ups and downs. I enjoy, the going through and the growing through. I enjoy these things. Don't take it for granted, because that's what creates you and who you are. And because you are the first lead magnet, right? And people see you when you are enjoying your journey in life. That is why people naturally get people attracted to them. Like, they just naturally have that magnet. So you can be that magnet too. But that's the one thing that I just love doing, is just enjoying my life. And what I've noticed is that, because TeeCee makes it very clear that we are the lead magnet. So when people come to you, you have to also be able to hold the capacity of them, and I thought about that too. I thought about how, just being in that flow allows you to hold the capacity of other people. So just wanted to start you off to let y'all know how I usually am. Last night, because all day yesterday, and I was telling TeeCee, I said, recently, and people don't know this much about the back end of the story, but I'll have TeeCee introduce in a second, but I just want to tell y'all this. So interesting that people say, oh yeah, I had to stop the business and go back to a 9-to-5 job. And, people do it for all different reasons, right? And I just realized, and I told TeeCee, I said, I kind of have a 9-to-5 job too, if you think about it, right? Because I am signed on contract to care for my Nana, y'all. So this is not like oh, let me just like, hey Nana, how you doing today? Like, I literally take care of my Nana. And with that on contract in my schedule, I also run, as y'all know, 2 businesses. Okay, I have a nonprofit and I have a for-profit, and each of those entities run differently. And I'm only one person. So, so I thought about all the things that I've been building and recent, change in my life with being a caretaker. And I said to myself last night, wow, I feel really overwhelmed. Like, I feel tired, like I was telling TeeCee. And I had a conversation with one of my new clients yesterday in his restaurant, which he's been in the restaurant industry for years, but in the pandemic started over. And y'all know how it is. You could be a business owner for years, but you still have to start over at some point sometimes. And when you don't have the same resources, the same support, the same tools, right? That can be overwhelming because you're so used to having that. And so I'm working with him on strategy, and y'all listen to this, okay? Because I'm over here trying to pick his brain. And I'm like, wait, so did you put out flyers? No. Okay. Did you put out brochures? No. Okay. Did y'all make sales calls? No. Okay. Did you? And all I keep getting back, y'all, about his marketing is, well, Allegra, we're a restaurant, and, You don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be salesy. And I was like, and listen, I think this is what I'm telling y'all this because I think this is what added to my overwhelm, right? Because I'm like, I was like, wait, and it threw me off because I'm sitting there in his beautiful establishment, which he has 7 of, and he's telling me that he's not marketing his business at all. And I was like, well, just give me one marketing tool that you're using right now where people can see you. Do you even have an Instagram page? Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's go to Instagram because we know that as we talk to TeeCee's our expert, right? She's going to make sure your digital marketing is set. So I go to look at the Instagram. There's no reels, there's no movement, there's no video, there's no sound. I'm like, so everything is just static pictures of food. So I'm thinking, okay, so this is your marketing, right? Which means that if I go to the page, of course I'm going to look at the one that's showing me everybody sitting down eating your food and, parties happening, events happening. I want to go to that restaurant, but I'm looking at your restaurant with just like a plate of food. So I said to him, I said, listen, why aren't you marketing? And he said, because I don't want to be salesy. And I said, do people eat? He said, yeah. I said, how many people that live in this area? Because in the area that his restaurant is in, get this, y'all, because I tell y'all, location is so important. If you're located in a inner city area where people live, work, and play, like I can literally walk outside your door and there's a full building of apartments. I can look to the left. There's a whole nother building of apartments. I can look across the street. There's a hotel. I can look over there. There's a theater. So you have all of these things around your business. And this is not just a physical store. This could be you virtually too, y'all. So you have all these amazing opportunities to just, even stand outside your door and say hi as people walk by. And that wasn't even happening. So my question again stood still. If people eat, if they like to drink, and if they like to sit down, which your restaurant lets them do all basic features, but then they can also sit down and do work on their laptop while they're having a business meeting. They can also come for a girlfriend's brunch. They can also come, for an event. So here's the thing. Here's the point I'm making is that after speaking with him for over an hour about this overwhelm that he was feeling in his business, okay? He had been a business owner for years. So it's not the fact that he didn't know. It's the fact that he was so overwhelmed by what he had to do in his business as the person doing the time roll, the payroll, the timesheets, the scheduling, making sure that the business is open every day, making sure that phone calls are getting answered. If you're the one person and you don't have enough money to hire people, then what happens is you get so caught up in your head, like he was saying. And he looked at me and he said, Allegra. He said, well, what do you do when you just can't even see yourself doing that? Even thinking about what you're telling me. And I told TeeCee, I said, I walked him through a step-by-step process. But do y'all know that because of the overwhelm that he was experiencing, he could not even follow through with what I was saying to him. He couldn't even understand or even process it. So when I left last night from experiencing that with him, do you know that actually added to my overwhelm? Listening to his overwhelm. This is why you have to choose your clients selectively. Listening to his overwhelm, listening to my nana, who I nana sit, okay, because I told y'all, technically now I have like a 9 to 5 in a way, and I run 2 businesses. Y'all would never know. Why? Because you manage it. And I was literally leaving my nana's place, her towers, headed to my client's establishment. So I'm listening to her, forget things every 5 seconds, ask me questions all throughout the day, bring up the same conversation about the same memory several different times, right? And people complain about this. They're like, oh my God, that's so overwhelming, right? So you get that. So I go through that and then I go to my client and then I go home and I stop before I go to bed. And I'm like, Why do I feel so overwhelmed? Well, here's the thing. I received and I accepted the overwhelm of others. I allowed, see, I could have stopped those, I could have stopped that we call it compartmentalizing in your mind, but I could have stopped that process from happening for me. But if you don't know how to do that, then what happens is you continue to be in overwhelm. And what happened this morning is when I woke up, I decided to not be in overwhelm. I made a decision that if there was something that I was doing in my business that I felt was overwhelming, guess what I'm doing today? I'm either putting it in a place where I can delegate it to someone else. So that means like, hey, listen, I'm not putting the pressure on myself to do that. I'm going to get someone else to do it. That could be my staff, that could be my family, that could be my friends, that could be anyone. But at the same time, I'm also going to prioritize what I need to do because everything doesn't need to be done right away. So that's kind of where I want to start, because before you even get to the how do I effortlessly market, we got to realize that there's overwhelm in the market. And if you go in the market with your strategy and you go, oh, let me just put out these flyers. Oh, let me just do this. Let me just do that. Half of the time, we can't even get there because your overwhelm is taking over the fact that you don't even believe that you can do it. You can't even process it. So I'll stop there. TeeCee, I want to hear from you because like this took me out. I was like, y'all really carrying this around all day, every day? Like,
Yeah, I agree. And you know, Allegra, the thing is sometimes we, because we're so overwhelmed by all the things that we need to get done, or all the things that we think we need to get done, we find ourselves not doing what we need to do in our business. And you see, I think this thing is it's funny because I'm listening to you, and it's just running through in my mind, and I'm saying you're so right. I feel like, most times, because we accept certain things. Okay, so let me give an example. Typically, right, there's so much that go out, like so much that happens online. People bring up this tactics, tips, strategies, all deep inside our hearts, right? As entrepreneurs, I know that we know what we need to get done. But you see, the problem is that because we're overwhelmed by the thought of everything, we end up not even doing anything at all. Or we end up doing the wrongest things. Why? Because we're trying to avoid certain things, or we're trying to, okay, you know what, try to ease up, and then we just find ourselves going in the path where we're not supposed to get to. And when you started off this morning and you're like, okay, you know what, you see, it's important that we understand that marketing is me, sales is me, it all starts with me. Um, the overwhelm is me, right? And you see, the very funny part is that it also finds a way of um, it finds a way of influencing even the people that we work with and our clients. Most times, when we talk about stay off the overwhelm, outsource, do this, do that, some people will be like, oh, TC just wants me to spend more money. But see, here's the thing. Obviously, you're going to spend money because you have to pay me to do the work, right? But that's not the point. The point is, when you start to take up all of these things, you're not only getting yourself overwhelmed, you're also affecting your clients, you're affecting your kids, you're affecting your loved ones, you're affecting you, you're affecting your business. Every single thing about you is being affected, but you don't know. You don't know until it gets to that part where it's like hits, that wall, and you be like, oh my gosh. I feel like that's how powerful, in the negative way, overwhelm can be. Because sometimes it doesn't just start now. We start to feel certain things, or we start to see certain things, and we forget that these things have a foundation. It has where it's coming from, right? And because we do not, pay, maybe we pay attention, but we just feel like, so imagine your client saying, but this is very funny, Allegra, forgive me, but How would a restaurant that is literally just not just starting think that just because, see, this thing is simple. It's like, hey y'all, people are having fun in my restaurant. They're eating nice meals, they're doing this. You're just telling people what they need to know. Like, these things are very simple. So why would you think that it is salesy? Like, I don't get it.
You know why? It's salesy because it's in your head. How can, like, how can you process something that's so easy if, like, you're spiraling out of control up there, right? It's like, it's like, to your point, TC, I'll say this because I want to clarify something. Doesn't matter how long you've been in business, we're all human. So that's why when you said, like, checking yourself, that's exactly what happened. I checked that yesterday when I saw that my client, my brand new client, his overwhelm, the energy was starting to transfer over to me. Guess what? I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. And I'm gonna put a barrier there, a block there to say, wait a minute, I understand you're overwhelmed, but if you can't compartmentalize that and just do the work that I need you to do, we can't have this relationship. Because guess what's that's going to happen to me, TC? Then I'm going to start being overwhelmed, and then I'm going to wake up like I did this morning, like, what was that? And you have days and days of that where some people are working with clients like that, and they do it because guess what? I don't want to do the work to market to the right people. I'd rather just take someone's money because they're offering it, because they're there. But something, when something's not right at the beginning, when that first sign of overwhelm, that person triggering you or making you feel like, this is uncomfortable, or yeah, that energy wasn't right. Knowing that boundary in the beginning of working with your clients when you're marketing to people will allow you to avoid this overwhelm in the market, because the overwhelm in the market is going to be there for a short time, and then you're going to rise to the top once everybody else falls away. So be careful, because I'm okay with letting someone go and saying, you know what, we're not going to work well together, or this is not the right product or service for you. Because if I get overwhelmed, then every single person behind me is also going to be overwhelmed. And how's that going to affect me, TC? What do you think I'm going to end up being?
No, no. So you are going to be in this state of chaos, like in this not good space. And I'm going to tell you a story, right? Two stories, different stories. Now, this happened very recently. So starting my business, I don't know if you were, I think around that, I don't know, but 2 years into my business, I made nothing. So I think I literally made a minus, right? Because then I think I make something, and before you know what happened, I'm going into a very huge loss, and then it went back in my head. I'm like, I'm just wasting my time, right? Because I just keep going back and forth. Now, I'm thankful for those years, and I'm thankful for those days. Why? Because I think it's given me this very thick skin to be able to put that word, right. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not good. But I feel for me personally, it's given me that grace, right. Now this happened earlier. No, it was last week, right. And so a client of mine, I get it. She was really very frustrated, right? So frustrated. She's complaining about everything. She's like, this, she wants to do that, 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 But look at me, a mom of two active boys. I have two businesses. I'm managing people's team, I'm managing my team, I'm managing myself. So trust me, if I really want to, if I want to block it, I'm literally, I just waited for her to finish everything she wanted to say. And when she was done, I said, take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Now let's start from the beginning. What did you say again you wanted to do? And she started to smile. So wait. Because she started smiling. I said, see, as I know that everything is, the way it is for you, right? But the truth is, I can't help you if I don't understand you. So you need to help me understand you so I can help you. Because you see, the rate at which you're going, all of this, is actually very unrealistic. So we need to go back to what is realistic. Start from there. And then she started to look at me like this. And I said, "Are you good?" And she said, "Okay, you know what? Let me go take coffee and come back."
No, wait. Can
And
I say something real quick? Yo, there's something really wrong with us, y'all. So, I was doing this to somebody. This is not one of my clients right now because I noticed that because Camille had a look at the question, and I want you to answer the question as well. She had a really good question from the Facebook
where's the question? I can't see it. Where is it?
question. What are some questions we could ask our possible soon-to-be clients? To basically, she's asking what questions can we ask the clients before we bring them on to make sure that they're a good fit. And Camille's in wellness, and she's dealing with people who. And here's the thing, like that's funny because fitness is one of those like type of industries where people are always like, "Oh my god, I want to get fit," but never really make the commitment. So, so I can imagine like what that is like. Okay, but I work with Dr. Al, for example, and one of the things that we put in place with the systems behind right the business is to make sure that you have qualifying questions. So I always tell people like have a qualifying questions. I have qualifying questions for everything, even my relationships. Like if you want to date me, there are some qualifying questions because there's some things that I require, to make sure that I remain happy and at peace. So same thing with your clients, right? Like make sure that you ask them the questions that help you remain happy and at peace. It could be any question as long as it doesn't violate any ethical standards. But just make sure that, you ask them even as far as their budget. Like I ask people, can they even afford me? There's some things that, and that's really where I feel like people struggle. It's not really about like what kind of questions can I ask. It's like some of the questions that you want to ask, you really don't want to ask. Like, can you afford me? Will you be able to commit to this process? Or what was the last commitment that you made? Like some of the things I love to see is if they've had business coaches before and what was their experience with business coaches. So before you work with me, I'll ask you that type of question. Like what is your qualifier to make it seem like you're going to take this seriously? But I want to hear from you, TeeCee, about that. But I was just cracking up because this type of lunacy that we have around being able to get someone to come in, understand us, even though we're crazy. That's funny to me because TeeCee, it reminds me of like, how we got like the Matrix and there's like a glitch in the system. I feel like that's how we are as human beings when we're so overwhelmed that we're kind of like and we don't even know. Like we don't even know we're doing it, right? I've coached so many people on this. As I said, I got it up to life certification because when I had one person that did not make it, and I remember when I was talking to her and she was like saying something over the phone and like we were on a Zoom call, not the phone. And I was like, and I said something back. I can't remember what it was, but it was like she glitched. Like her actual face glitched, right? Like I don't know if y'all know what I mean. So it means that something in her nervous system was hit. So TeeCee, that's what you're talking about. Because sometimes we're so overwhelmed that it's embedded in our nervous system. So you're just doing it because that's your habit. You're used to it. That was your everyday thing. But what TeeCee did was she actually hit a nerve where the lady had to stop and be like, wait a minute. And it's like a glitch in a way because your programming now has to be reprogrammed. You have to be now, TeeCee has to reprogram you to say, wait a minute, now that we done caught that glitch, let's go into the system and let's figure it out. So that reminds me of that because sometimes we think we're so like, oh yeah, we're superhuman. That's not the case. We have glitches that need to be fixed. And TeeCee, that's what I call that. That was a glitch. She needed you to fix that glitch. And that's what a lot of us are experiencing. That overwhelm that you're having, wait, when you start glitching and you hear us say things in these lives and you glitch, you're like, wait a minute. That don't mean we try to hurt your feelings. That just means there's something that was triggered there. All right, go ahead, TeeCee. I see Camille commented.
Yeah, yeah. So no, it's not me trying to hurt anyone. It's me just letting you know that you're human, but it's fine, right? And that's why, we always say that there's something called compatibility with the people you work with, right? Now, it's not about I have the money, I don't have the money. No, yeah, it's a part of it, but you also need to be compatible with whoever you're working with, service wise, because you see, energy matters a whole lot. Camille, I can't see your message, but I want to ask a question. Um, what is that one thing that you feel, that if your client's questions, what are the questions you could ask our possible soon to be client that will make ask them go for it? I come across this weekly in wellness, and it is not only stressful but also disheartening. Would love to hear. Camille, let me use myself as an example, right? I know that I wanted to work with you. No, seriously, I already programmed myself I was going to work with Camille, right? But you see, I am an entrepreneur, right? So Camille does this wellness thing that you can like work from home, like women kind of thing, like all of those good stuff, great stuff, which I love. Like God knows in my heart that, I was excited, but I had to be very truthful to myself. One, because I am an entrepreneur. And before I met with Camille, I had to scrutinize myself and ask myself, am I able to get to the end of this program? The truth is, at this stage in my life, I know it's a no. I'm not going to lie to myself, right? Like, yes, fine, I can be excited, get to like 2 weeks, but will I get to the end? There's a likeliness that I might not get to the end. Why? Because, it's just a me problem. Okay, it has nothing to do with Camille. Now, the truth is, most of the time for wellness, you want to find out if they're ready because it's a matter of them. Wellness is a lifestyle. Now, if you are not able to embody it and accept that this is a long time thing, right? If you're looking for maybe easy fix kind of thing, that's going to be a very big problem for you, right? If you're looking for now, 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 it's going to be a very big, something you need to fight every single day. Now, you also want to find out from these people if they have what it takes to get them to that space that they need. Now, example is you want to find out what their state of mind is, what their reality is, right? Because you see, with fitness comes lifestyle. You want to see what their environment, their day-to-day activities look like, because that's very essential when you want to put anyone into a lifestyle routine because it's long term. Now, because if their reality does not fit into that, it's going to be like something you're bouncing back, right? There's several things you want to put into consideration. Now, for me, the budget or money when it comes down to lifestyle, if like you are my client and I'm going to like dissect all of these things, it's like the last key point. Okay, because you want to be sure that these people are able to help you to help them, because as an expert, your excitement is the fact that you want to provide transformation. But when people are frustrating that effort, trust me, it's not a good feeling. And you are not able to, even if you're the best expert in this entire world, you will get so frustrated you're not able to help them because they need to help you to help them, right? So ask all of the questions you feel will make you comfortable enough to tell yourself, okay, you know what? I can help this person get to that stage. Ask them questions like, when was the last time they maybe got themselves involved in a lifestyle routine? It's a roller coaster of feeling like what you have is not valuable, and also knowing that what you have is priceable. Sometimes I just get stuck, yeah, then block stuff. Don't let them get to you, Camille. That's the truth. Don't let them get to you. Sometimes some people also come to expert like you for closure, right? Now, if you can make them, right, make them know that, hey, I'm in control here. So it's either you're in or you're out, right? That's where you have structural procedures like your contract to let them know if you can't follow this at this stage, right? It's a rent there. Okay. If you can't follow this at this stage, then it's on you. right? You just have to be very strict with it, because remember, lifestyle, wellness, fitness is not like marketing. It's a different thing entirely, and you want to be sure that these people are ready mentally to be able to help you guide them through that journey. So you want to think about what the questions, that answers your own questions, right? Now those are the questions that you would want to ask them, so that you're able to figure out, if I can work with this person. Through with the whole tech side.
Sorry, and we're sorry. Yeah, it's easy.
That's fine. No, it's fine. But I hope that that helps, Camille. I hope that it helps. You need to really sit down to ask yourself questions that would give you the answers that will get you comfortable to helping your clients get the transformation that they need. Every question that you feel is valid enough for you to help them, those questions are valid. Ask them, like, what have you ever worked with a wellness coach before? If yes, why did you stop? If no, why do you think you are ready now? Let them tell you why they think they're ready now, right? For me, I feel those questions are very valid, because if they're not ready, trust me, you'll be so frustrated because they won't be able to pull through the journey with you. That's what I have to say, at least for that.
He said so many golden things. I mean, this conversation is fabulous because it's really for me getting down more to the bottom of what the real issue is, and there's a lot of things that confuse me, y'all, because I'm just a very simple person when it comes down to things that are simple. Like marketing is very simple, it's not complicated. But we do overcomplicate a lot of the structure of that and business when we don't understand. Some of the things that you said, TC, though, when you were talking about qualifying questions, Camille, I agree with TC on all those areas. I'm actually going to make a list of qualifying questions. I just wrote that down. I love adding these resources to my library, y'all. So, like in my membership, like we just like keep adding resources. But one of the things that I also want to say to Camille is that there are some things that you can do to really enhance your marketing when it comes down to finding the right people instead of the wrong people. Because that's why I market exclusive programs. My programs are not marketed like, oh, everybody can join, right? There's a reason for that. Because if I'm marketing my programs to say everybody and I want everyone, right? Sometimes you have to give people that exclusivity because they pay more for it. They feel better about it, right? It brings value to the package. So there's just qualifiers, and those qualifiers are the questions that I'm asking them. Like, can you afford this package for 3 months? Some people qualify people by telling them to send their bank statement. Like, it depends on what you need. And your clients that really want the transformation, here's the difference. I don't want to change you if you don't want to be changed. And we have a lot of us that want to be service providers that just want to help people become different individuals because we became different individuals. But everybody don't want that. Everyone doesn't want to be different. Everyone doesn't want to really progress and change. It's just not always the case, especially when it comes to their health and wellness. If you look at the real data, if you look at our country and the way that we eat, the way that we do things, the way that we say we're going to do stuff and don't do it, right? That's why Planet Fitness has their $1 promotion every month, right? Because they know that you're going to start with this momentum. Oh, yeah, I want to work out. But over time, you're not going to do it. Right. So people have to build a habit. So memberships are really important when fitness is concerned. If you don't have a subscription of a membership where you're offering like a free trial or like Planet Fitness, right? Like you got to look at your competitors. That's a dollar trial. I'm going to Planet Fitness. Because even though they take out my 40 something dollars every month for me never going to the gym, I never actually see it, right? But if I do want to go to the gym that month or that day, I can. So I'm really paying for convenience. So you have to kind of gear your message around that, because people will want to be, like TeeCee said, she would love to be working out with Camille, right? But if your lifestyle and your communication methods don't match her lifestyle and communication methods, then of course, as a consumer, they're easily going to dismiss your offer. I mean, that's not rocket science. It's just that, we have to kind of wrap our mind around, well, what does what is the marketing going to do for this person? How can I reach this person in their life? And that includes the way that they communicate, right? Sometimes if we don't look at and I'll do this too, TeeCee, I'll drop the business planning blueprint, because the business planning blueprint has everything I'm talking about in it, from what we said as far as your target audience, figuring out, how to dissect everything from who you're going to look to, where they work, live, play, and then also their communication. Like, are they on social media even? Because if you're posting on social media all day, every day, and your audience isn't there, that's going to be weird, right? So I really like, and I want to emphasize this, because if you're doing limited time offers, that's another way to enhance your audience, right? Because you know that people want it now, but they're not going to stick with it, right? So limited time offers. So those are some things and some tactics that you can use. But from the overwhelm perspective, yo, listen, this is what I will say last, and I'll leave it here, because I just got my tip for my clients. I'm going to make them a qualifying questions list, because this is good. This is good, because everybody needs them. You need qualifying questions. But like, can you commit to this program, and look at their track record? But I just want to say the reason why it's not the marketing tools, it's not the free trial offers, it's not the memberships, it's not any of that, because you can see people want it, right? It's the overwhelm that we're experiencing in our personal lives that are trickling into our business. That's it. It has nothing to do with the marketing. It has nothing to do with the fact that, you have a great strategy or not a great strategy. It's everything to do with you are attracting who you are. When people come to me, there are some people that have come to me and I've seen them go to other coaches real fast. Why? Because when they come to me, they're like, oh, Allegra's serious. She gonna make me do the work. So they go to the next coach. I'd rather you give them the money. Why? They may need it more, and you may need them more. Because maybe they're going to give you that, that sacrificial blessing of, I'm just going to carry you for a little while. I'm not the coach to carry you. If you're going to be a baby, you're not a baby here, right? We're grown adults making moves in business, and we make sure you get the results. You get it done. So a lot of times, when we're attracting people, like, if I wasn't putting those boundaries up for myself, what I would attract would be people that would come into my programs, and they would do exactly that, Camille. They would come in and they would not do anything, and they'll be like, oh yeah, her coaching don't work. No, it's not my coaching don't work. You don't work. So, having that, seriously, having that organized mind. So listen, y'all, this is just, because after this month, after the master class at the end of this month, myself and TeeCee, we're going to go back to business, because we've done the work, right? Like, what's this been, like almost like 4 months of just doing these lives. So myself and TeeCee, now we can take, our content, and we can bring it to the mass audiences, right? And focus on other things. But while you all kind of, listen to these live conversations, go back to the replays, and really absorb what we're telling you, I really want us to grasp this concept that, women are the lead when it comes to opening up businesses. We are the lead when it comes to managing other people's businesses. We master everything we put our hands on. Y'all, like, we create, we birth, we do these things with grace. And 40% of the entrepreneurial market are women entrepreneurs. Yet and still, only 10% of us make it to six figures, and only 2% of us make it to seven. The fact, I mean, those numbers really, really make me sick. And so I want us to stop being in this place of overwhelm. That's what's stopping the money. That's what's stopping the wealth. That's what's stopping the growth, is being in a space where it may be unfamiliar to get outside of this comfort zone of, well, I'm so used to worrying. I'm so used to having people depend on me. I'm so used to this. I'm so used to that. I want you to stretch yourself so wide. I want you to be so uncomfortable this year that you get comfortable being uncomfortable, that every time you see an opportunity, every time you see yourself unwilling to take a risk, that you take it anyway. Because this opportunity we have to really encompass the world as women entrepreneurs, that makes up almost half of the entrepreneurial market, and only 10% of us are making it to six figures. No, that's not even a really high number. So we have to really get better at dealing with ourselves, working on ourselves every single day, y'all. In the community, we have a morning cup of inspiration room that allows you to, clear your mind, get your day started. Then we go into conversations about building relationships. We talk about your business, your marketing. We talk about being a mompreneur, right? All these conversations that we're having. But are you listening, or are you just overwhelmed? So that's really where I want to leave it, because we provide so many tools for us to really get to that place of not experiencing overwhelm. Because once you get into a clear place, a clear mind, then myself and TeeCee can bring you to the next level in your business. Then you can make the 6 and 7 figures. Then you can say, hey, I have great days every single day, no matter what's happening. Only then we can really support you. Other than that, we can't save you, right? We support, not save. So I just want to leave everyone with that, because there's just so many things that we have to do together as a community. And I want all of us to take responsibility in that. So TeeCee, I'll leave it to you. I'm done. My rant.
So I'm gonna post that on Facebook after this, and I'm going to say we support, we don't say. But you're right, because at the end of the day, it's important that we know that um, it's not the tool, it's not the business, it's not the product, it's not the service, it's not the marketing, it's you. It's funny how far we see this transformation once we decide within ourselves that we're ready. It's very powerful. Somebody reached out to me the other day and be like, oh my gosh, TeeCee, I don't like this particular tool, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine, just take it easy, because you all know how to go on a high, but it's okay. And I said, I'm not going to sit here to tell you if it's good for you or it's not good for you. Let me see how far you've used it. And so this is me going to the back end, and I see what she's using such a tremendous CRM for. Oh my gosh, I was very disappointed. And I said to her, I sent her a message and I said, this tool deserves more. And that was all I said. And so she called me. She's like, TeeCee, I don't get it. I said, you're not using it. You're not using it. That's why you can't get results. It's not the tool, it's you. Because if you are able to optimize this tool just the way, like optimize it 50%, you would be amazed as to how much you will not only save money, you'll be able to scale your business. You will see how much you can get done in a very short period of time. My point is, even if you have the best structure, even if you have the tools, the materials all given to you, if you're not ready, you're not ready. You need to be ready first. And you know that part where we keep telling ourselves, our personal life, it matters. It matters a whole lot, right? This day, some people be like, oh, TeeCee, you're choosy. I'm choosy. Like, why can't I be choosy? Why can't I be picky? Even my life is choosy. My kids are choosy. So I need to be choosy. You can come frustrating me and you ask me I'm choosy. Yes, I am. Right? Because see, my work is very simple. If you're not ready, I can't help you. I'm not a coach. I'm not a therapist. Some people say, oh, TeeCee, like no, I'm not. Yes, fine. Maybe when we start to work together, all of these things can happen and then we can get to talk. Now that's different, right? My work is to get you learn how I do the work and also do the work for you. So it's two ways. It's either I'm teaching you to do the work or I'm doing the work for you. At the end of the day, the work is being done. Now, if the goal behind our relationship is not work or has nothing to do with action or has nothing to do with implementation, we're going to both frustrate each other, right? So it's really simple, okay? Because if you come to me, that means you're ready for results. I was saying this in the room, in our win conversation. So we have my win conversations every Tuesday. So the win is the women into networking, and we have like the Tuesday win conversations every Tuesday. I just said Tuesday. They're Tuesday every Tuesday, right? At about 12 p.m. Eastern time, right? And this Tuesday, we were talking about something really good, right? And it was really very, an intentional conversation. And I remember saying that it's very easy for us to blame everybody other than ourselves, especially when it comes down to, oh, I paid you, yeah, yeah. Did you buy their soul? When you
Wait,
pay
did you
people,
say that they buy your soul?
no. So some people be like that. Some people be like that. Some people be like, oh, because I pay you, you're literally going to have to give me your life. And then they forget that you are paying to get results. Now, you need to do your part for you to get the result that you seek. It, it's that easy. See, understand where I'm going to, right? Don't pay attention to Allegra's laugh. See, understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. The goal is to get results. But if you don't tell yourself you're ready, imagine when you put in so much work in your marketing efforts. This is an example. In your marketing effort, but deep inside of you, you're not ready, right? For the outcome of your marketing effort. All of that is a waste. Because it is important that before even pushing in the marketing effort, you need to have the right structure that can manage the outcome of your marketing campaign. Because that's where you're going to start to make sales and start hitting all the 6 and 7 figures. Now, if you're not ready for the outcome of what exactly you're pushing in for, why do it in the first place? You need to be ready inside of you to be able to accommodate these things, right? If you're not ready as an individual, there's so many people that have that need help. Aside from, I'm going to use myself for an example, right? So some people might come to me and say, TC, I need help with my marketing campaign. But the truth is that what they need help with is marketing. It's more or less like mindset figuration. Like you need a redefining of their mindset. Now that's what they need. Because in scenarios where you say, okay, you know what, this is a marketing campaign, and somebody be like, no, I don't want this one. I don't want this one. The question is it about what you want? I don't want this one. Like, okay, so what do you want?
Oh wait, the famous line. Well, I just don't like it.
Yeah, oh yeah, you get the line. Oh yeah, that's that's the line.
That's the line. That's the main one.
That's
Like,
the line.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that.
That's
It's
the
like
line.
I didn't know it was all about you. Like I didn't know you was paying you for these services. So, didn't know.
But that's the line, right? But you remember, you are hiring these people to help you get results. Okay? At the end of the day, we want to understand that once we are ready inside, the overwhelm. See, people have their personal lives going on and happening with them. But if you are not ready personally as an individual, you're not able to accommodate this thing and build that wall. It's going to be very difficult. It's literally going to, it's really literally going to hit you and hit you so hard. You are supposed to be helping people. Before you know what's happening, you will start to need serious help yourself because you just got hit by a very, very big, large truck. So think about it. Okay? That's where I stop.
All right, we gotta stop for real. This was a great conversation. Thank you, TC. We're like I said, we're toning down to the end of our live streams where you can directly ask us questions. And thank you, Camille and Arinthia, for joining in. After this month, we'll because the end of this month is a masterclass. So if you haven't joined the masterclass, DM us the word masterclass. Because once we do the live masterclass, once we do the live streams, right, you will no longer have that live access. Just FYI, okay? We've said this for months. And now we're at the turning point. I'm really excited about it because now I get to move on to bigger and better things with TC. I was telling TC how, we said this last year. What did we say, TC? That 2024 is the year of compliance and clients that are in corporations. Okay. And I have been getting more companies involved in my programs. And TC, the program that we put together, that's the program that I pitched to the new client. That's why I'm getting him together. Because listen, y'all, the point that I made earlier about, this overwhelm in the market, because that's exactly what he said. He said Allegra. He doesn't even have TC. It's gonna blow your mind. I told y'all that this gentleman has been in business for years, owns 7 restaurants, pandemic hits, right? And now it's starting over. But he still has these beautiful restaurants. And they're still operational, still in the market, right? TC, do you know he doesn't have a CRM? Yes. I said, well, yeah, he said,
So
I'm
how does he track
listen,
it like
listen.
oh
I knew you were gonna go off. Hold on, I knew you was gonna go off. Hold on, calm down. Well, listen, if y'all don't know what a CRM is, CRM, customer relations management system, is basically what you set up in the back end of your business so that people can receive information and alerts and updates from you. So you can connect with them still, even when your social media shuts down, or you can give them, dates of launches and grand openings and alerts, right? And I don't understand how these businesses are opening without having these launch dates and these grand openings, because all of a sudden you just out there in the market. So a CRM allows you to prepare people for these things. And he doesn't have like, I went on the website, TC, and this is what you're going to have to work on, is building the pop-up so that people can just leave their information. And so he can still communicate with them through email, text blast, and also because we have a couple of people. Arinthia does this as well with her systems, but I have a contract with TC where she works with my clients. So I'm telling you, this opportunity for us to really help someone who really doesn't have, like, they have the presence, they are in the market. But what he said to me, he said, Allegra, he said, I don't know how to move, because he said, I know these things. And I showed him the back end of his website. Do you know that he has everything back there, but nothing is set up? So there's just like, click this button and now you have a pop-up. Click that button and now you can send out social media blasts. Click that button and now you can send out email automations. When we don't have those things in place, that's what TC sets up for us. That's why we work so hard for the 20% of people, because the 80/20 rule says that 80% of your audience are going to be people that are going to come back again and again and again. How do they know to come back? They get your emails, they get your reminders, they get your text messages. They go, oh my God, you know what? I am in town. Why do you think Chick-fil-A always has the billboards where they are when you're driving past, down the highway, and they know the exit is the next one? They put the billboard there because you might think, oh, you know what? I do want some Chick-fil-A. Let me go. So you have to kind of listen, y'all. Um, you have to have your marketing available for people to have access to you, whether it's flyers, brochures, digital pop-ups, whether it's a blog, whether it's, influencers on social media going to your restaurant, and you know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, that I had to ask the question, why are you not marketing for real? Because it's not because it's not possible, because we just went through a whole bunch of strategies. What's the real reason? And the real reason was the overwhelm and the fear of being salesy. So once we can deal with that, y'all, because I'm sorry, but sometimes, we need therapy because we're experiencing trauma. Okay, that's where a lot of this is coming from. So deal with yourself first. But TeeCee, you're gonna have to work on that project, and that's kind of how we work together on your projects as well. If you don't come to the masterclass and you're just like, hey, I need someone to work with me on the front end so I know what to do in my business, and someone to build it on the back end while I'm learning, myself and TeeCee can support you in that. You do have to qualify for that. But I just want to make sure that we put that out there because there's so much happening in the market. You can be the business owner that has been in there for a long time, like my current client, and he's saying that how do you know what to do when you see an overwhelm of DMs and emails and SMS, and you don't want to be a part of that chaos? And I said, I understand. I said, but that's where you differentiate yourself, and you know your audience well enough to know where to reach them, so you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. So that's why we create a strategy for you and not a copycat that you may see someone else is doing. And the same thing for your consumers. Get yourself clear, get out of the chaos and the overwhelm, because your consumers cannot buy from you if you are overwhelmed. And that's just the honest truth. I don't care how many flyers you put out there. All right, TeeCee, we got to go. Any final words?
So you're overwhelmed, your process is chaotic, your mind is chaotic, your audience can perceive it. They can see through, like right through the far distance, right? What is happening in your head, okay? So you can't say that you're trying to hide it. You can hide it from people you think you know. You can try to lie to yourself, but your audience can perceive it. And you don't want that to be translated to them, okay? Everybody wants to work with, somebody who is level headed. Everybody wants to work with somebody who's got their act together, right? Everybody wants to work with someone who looks sane and seems sane and acts sane, right? So you don't want to give the wrong impression, and that's why you want to be a part of the masterclass. Now, the masterclass is a 3-day live masterclass. I call it the 3-day life changing masterclass, which is not meant for everyone, but it's only meant for entrepreneurs who are looking. Okay, if you are ready for results, you're ready for transformation, you're ready for high level support, like you're just tired, you're tired of doing things the way you've been doing it, so hard, so stressful, you just want it effortless, so you're able to get the results that you seek. Now, this masterclass is meant for you. Now, just so you know, you also have a vault of, resources, tools, scripts. You see Allegra be writing all of these things. She's going there to go create another script, another template, another thing. So, so you want to now, the thing is, and the very good part is that it's you have access to all of these things, okay? So there is no excuse why you won't get results. All right, but first you need to be a part of the masterclass. Okay, all you need to do is DM us the word masterclass, myself or Allegra. They would send you the invite to be a part of the masterclass. Now the masterclass is next week, if I'm correct. That's end of the month, right? So it's next week. So you don't even have any time. No time to make a long decision. I want to think about it. I want to ask my husband and ask my guardian and or ask now. Everybody you want to ask right now, ask them today, because next week is when the masterclass is going to do. Okay, that's it. Bye, y'all. See you next week.
Bye, everyone. Have an amazing one. See you next week.